Happy Friday. College football is back. This weekend, Georgia takes the field for the first time as reigning national champions in Samford Stadium.
Yes, sir.
Against Samford. Between the hedges. There's a lot. There's an M. One of them has an M. One of them has an N. And you just have to try to navigate from there, which. One of them is going to be getting the crap kicked out of them. And one of them is going to be the place where the crap is getting kicked out of them. That's really all you need to know. Let's talk about what we're excited about, what we're nervous about, and what you shouldn't sleep on in that game on Saturday.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by BetOnline, your sportsbook experts. We're talking about what we're nervous about, what we're excited about, and don't sleep on for the Samford game. And Daniel, this is quite possibly the easiest of cakewalks after game one that we saw against Oregon, how incredible this team is. The tier between us and Bama, that's lengthening. That's getting longer. I'm not even putting them in the same tier. There's 1A and 1B, and we're 1A. And if you have any fight against me, bring it, Bama fan, because I know you're here. And again, you've never seen a Georgia fan base more confident than we are right now. And that should scare you because we're usually the worst. I get that. I understand, okay?
Yep.
So let's talk about what we are nervous about in this game, Daniel. And I'll go first, right out of the gate. There was a kid from UMass that came down to Samford Stadium, and he balled out at wide receiver against us a couple of years ago.
He was lanky kid. Lanky.
I don't think he was diminutive. He was about like
long-armed kid. Long-armed kid. He was a little short. He was a little short. Yeah, but
No.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
He came down. He showed out. He balled out. He got drafted. He's still in the league. He's doing all those things. And Daniel, what I'm nervous about in this game is a repeat of that and having to hear every single person talk about how the DBs are a liability, how
Alabama
our pass pro, Alabama fan, how we can't get to the quarterback, we can't get pressure. This wide receiver covers up. If this wide receiver is covering us up, can you imagine what Burton is going to do against us in the SEC? Can you imagine what Hendon Hooker is going to do against us? Blah, 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 blah. I'm nervous for that, Daniel, because of how the playbook gets shortened, how the defensive scheme gets very, very toned down. It's very vanilla. You don't want to give anything on film. That's what I'm nervous about, Daniel. How about you?
Samford can pass the ball now. Like they can throw the ball around. That's what they do. And so they're going to put together their best game plan, and we'll see what happens. I'm not necessarily nervous about giving up any points or whatever. Let's just call it what it is. There's only one thing to be nervous about in this game. Neither you nor I are going to say that out loud on the podcast. We're not going to say what that thing is.
If you come at us on Twitter for it, I swear the block will come out so quick.
We're not idiots. Nope. We're not going to say that. But that's the only thing to be nervous about. And so I'll just say this. Georgia game kicks off at 4. The Florida-Kentucky game kicks off at 7.
Yes, sir.
That's only 3 hours difference. So, Kirby, we need to move this thing along. We need, just like this podcast, we need to move it along. We need to keep the clock running.
Branson Robinson wants to get some carries between the tackles.
Give Branson some carries between the tackles. If he gains more than 6 yards, tell him to fall down. Tell him to fall down. We'll milk 40 off the clock, and then we'll do it again. That's what I'm nervous about, really, in this game. Let's cash that under. Let's get out of there quickly so we can go watch some more entertaining games.
That's exactly right. Hey, we're going to come back, talk about what we are excited about. But first, I want to let you know about BetOnline. BetOnline is your sports book experts. They have everything that you need to get the right lines, which we gave you out yesterday. Hello. We got some winners going on there. We got some locks. People are going to be cashing in on those.
Click off this episode right now. Go to yesterday. And just
finish this episode and then go do that.
Well, you can come back. I'm just saying some of these lines might be moving. You might want to get in on them now. True.
Okay. BetOnline is a sportsbook experts. Dan and I trust them. They're the official sportsbook of Locked On Bulldogs, the official sportsbook of Locked On Podcast. BetOnline, your sportsbook experts. Daniel, the excitement meter for this game is hard. It's hard to get going. I know it's between the hedges. I understand. Again, I was going to give the disclaimer. Yes, it's Between the Hedges. Yes, it's our boys going out there. Yes, I'm always pumped. And yes, I will be screaming at the TV. That never changes.
Yes,
okay?
Correct.
But there's going to come a point where I actually sit down to watch this game, Daniel, instead of stand the entire time.
Yeah, you might have a bowl of soup just kind of in your lap.
That's what I'm saying.
Normally, when you're watching a game, you don't put the bowl of soup in your lap.
I don't have things in my hand. I don't have things in my
once.
hand. There's not a chance. There's a maimed dog who has me to blame for that. So,
all right. So, what I'm excited about in this game is twofold. Number one, first time in Samford Stadium as the reigning national champions. I'm excited for the fanfare. I'm excited for another game between the hedges. I'm excited to catch a glimpse of what those video montages look like from this year, Clint. The production staff, has been hard at work. Tiffany.
I see you, Tiffany.
She's been putting in extra hours. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see all of that. But I'm also excited. We haven't told the people this. We record these. We started this tradition last week, where we're going to record we're going to record an instant reaction.
Quick instant reaction, yep.
Yeah, and so we're going to do that on Saturday night, but this time we're going to do it from the same home. I'm driving north, I'm coming up, and you boys are going to be watching this game and all the games on Saturday together. And so I'm excited that you're not going to be yelling at the TV by yourself. Really, that's what it is. I'm not necessarily excited that your children are going to hear the words that are coming out of Uncle Daniel's mouth, because that's not what we're interested in.
Here's the thing. Here's the truth of the matter. They're going to be looking at Uncle Daniel and being like, Dad, why do you and Uncle Daniel say the same things? That's what they're going to be saying. So don't worry about that. Look, here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited for a home game. I'm excited to see the crowd. I'm excited for you, Georgia fan, to be down there, to be in Athens, to get the game day experience. I'm excited to see a lot of our boys get out and get fundamentals. I'm excited for our linebackers to tee off. I'm excited for Malachi Starks to continue to get run, because this just in, Daniel, what I'm loving about this kid is he's going to get a lot of run in this game because he's still a freshman. I know he got early run.
He needs work.
He needs work, and so does Michael Williams. They need work, and so does Branson Robinson. All of these highly touted guys. I'm very excited. I am excited to watch the game and then film the instant reaction. Daniel, that's going to be thrilling. I cannot wait for it. And we're going to talk about don't sleep on in this game, Daniel, right after this.
Clint, sometimes you mute your microphone and then you just immediately unmute it. These are things that sometimes you do. Sometimes you're just not thinking. You sleep on a particular aspect of the game. Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes you're not sure what a game is going to be like, who's going to do what, or how it's going to go. Let me tell you, Georgia fans, there's not a lot to say in Don't Sleep On this week, because there's
Daniel, I'm disappointed in you, Daniel.
There's a lot you're not thinking about, but there's not much you really should be thinking about this game. But there are things. That's what there are things. I have many short ones for you.
Okay, give me the short ones.
Don't sleep on Brock Vandegrift playing better than Carson Beck in this game.
I ain't sleeping on that.
I think you're going to see both of them. And don't sleep on one of them looking better than the other.
Don't sleep on Gunnar Stockton coming in and showing them both up, Daniel.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm not sure Gunnar Stockton sees the field in this game, but he will not see the field.
He will.
Little side wager there on Gunnar Stockton sees the field. All right.
Okay. We'll talk.
We'll talk afterwards. We'll talk offline. Yeah. Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on Georgia punting more in this game than they did against Oregon.
Because we had the one punt, Daniel. We had the one punt.
By the way, that kid can boom it.
Look, it turns out Aussies know how to do Fosters, blooming onions, and punting. These are the things that they do well, Daniel, in totality. It's really fantastic. Here's the thing to don't sleep on, and it's very, very simple for me.
Okay.
Don't sleep on more hype from your boys and from all of Georgia fan base after this game, because there's not going to be much to nitpick in this game if all goes according to plan. And we're going to get way more hyped than we have been, because there's going to be some place. And then I'm going to give you this don't sleep on. And this is where I thought Daniel was going to go, because it's cherry picked for him in this game. This is, if we are going to return a punt for a touchdown this season, Daniel, it's this game. Let's go. Let's get that.
I don't even want it in this game. Give it to me against Kentucky. I don't want it.
I need points against Kentucky. Hey, this has been Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast. Your team every day. We will see you guys Saturday. Instant reaction. See you guys then.
See ya.